Good morning, lovely people. How are you? Hello, everyone on Facebook. How are you today? Hello to everyone on Facebook joining me. Hello to everyone on Instagram joining me today. Absolutely thrilled to be here with you this morning for a dose of Monday magic. How are you going? So what this show is all about, it is about providing you with some motivation, inspiration and encouragement to take you through today, through the week ahead and through your life in general, because this is just something I absolutely love to come to do and say hello to you all and provide you with that motivation, inspiration and encouragement. It's awesome. All right, so before I go any further at all today, what I really want to say to all the women of the world is Happy International Women's Day, you beautiful, beautiful creatures. Today, good morning, Lucia. How are you, gorgeous girl? Yes, out and about already. I want to say to all women in the world today is that you are friggin' awesome. This is my message to you. You are awesome in every single thing that you do. And that we as women really deserve to be treated with, equality, with respect, with dignity and love and abundance, right? Now, myself, as a woman, obviously, I'm really proud to be before you today as someone who I really do my best to do just that to all women, for all women, right? And this is actually why, this is a big reason why I started my Facebook group with my aligning meetup group. It's called Women Rising Above. And it is all about women bringing themselves back into putting themselves as the most important person in their lives, because I think we as the natural nurturers that we are, we often find that we're always putting ourselves last. We're so busy looking after everybody else because that's what we do, that's our heart, but we forget to come back into ourselves. So that's what today is all about, but that's what my group Women Rising Above is all about as well. So I would love to put the invitation out there to you that if you would like to come and join Women Rising Above, let us know in the comments, because we would love to have you come and join us. We can get the link to you. And in particular, we have an incredible event happening this coming Wednesday, the 10th of March. So we are having our monthly online meetup with we have a guest speaker, the beautiful Lucia Peters, who's watching right now on Instagram. She's our guest speaker and she's going to be coming to talk to us about the emotional connection that we have with our clothing. So it's going to be at a fantastic meetup. It is live on Zoom, and I'd like to offer some free tickets to anyone who's watching today. Now, just to let you know, there aren't very many spots left. So if you want to get in, let us know real soon and we'll make sure that we can get you a free ticket to you. It is this coming Wednesday, the 10th of March. It starts at 7 p.m. Adelaide time, and we would love to have you join us, beautiful people. So yeah, once again, Happy International Women's Day to all of you wonderful women out there. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for showing up every day, just to being your amazing self. You're all incredible. Mwah. Alrighty. So I want to now move on and talk about today's topic. So I want to talk about nourishing our body, mind and spirit as a whole. Okay, and I think this is actually a really good one for International Women's Day, because again, as women, this is a good thing to bring ourselves back into it and remind ourselves how important it is to do this. And I've actually been sitting with this topic for quite a while, because I've noticed, this parity happening around me, and I'm talking to many people lately about this, particularly people that I'm aligned with, and in my friendship circles, and the women that I work with as well. It's just really become apparent to me that this is something that I think needs to be spoken about a lot more. So I'm going to do just that today, right? So it's really, really interesting, I think, when most of us think of the word nourishment, right? Most of the time, we kind of automatically go to, nourishing foods, nourishing our bodies, you're getting sustenance from healthy eating, right? And that's 100% true. But that's just a little tiny snippet of it, right? That's a little tiny bit of it. But I truly, truly believe, and this is through personal experience, that there are so many times when it is clear that nourishment is just so much more than that little tiny snippet. It is nourishing the body, the mind, and the spirit as a whole, okay? They really do all work together to sustain us in health in every aspect of our lives, right? So I want to share with you how this became so evident for me, and it's quite recent, within the last few years, that this has become very evident for me. So most of you would know, I think you've been following me for a little while, you'd know that I went through a workplace sexual harassment thing. I ended up with PTSD, anxiety, and depression from that. But I lost my job, so I came out of it. I didn't have a career anymore. Now, yes, I was suffering for that mental health, and I was getting help for that. After I went out looking for other jobs, right? And I did, in a short space of time, a couple of beautiful people. I actually was employed in two separate jobs, right? By beautiful people, absolutely beautiful people. They were kind of like friends of friends. And the first job that I had was offered to me, and I took it because, or A, it was good for my self-esteem, and B, because I needed the finances, right? What I thought the job would be more of an administrative role, it turned out to be more of a financial role. Now, that's not where my expertise is. My expertise is definitely in the administration side. That's the career that I came from. These people that I worked for were absolutely lovely. What I found happening, though, was the physical symptoms in my body started to happen, and I didn't recognize them for what they were, first of all. Now, I started to get nauseous. I had massive stomach issues. To put it respectfully, food would go straight through me, things like that. But it was the stomach issues in this sense. And I didn't put two and two together for quite a while, until I realized that I was starting to also then, get the heart palpitations as I was heading to work. And this was only happening on the days that I worked. And I started to sit back and think, oh my goodness, do you know what I'm doing? These are the anxiety symptoms. These are the same anxiety symptoms that I was suffering when I was in my last job. So I gave it some serious thought, and I actually had to resign this job for that purpose. And I thank these people. I thank this dude for giving me this job. It was nothing to do with them. It was me. Okay. It happened again about a year later. A beautiful couple, absolutely incredible couple, out of their kindness of their hearts, offered me a job, and I accepted the job. It was pretty much the same scenario. It was a finance-based role. That was what they were after. But my background, again, was in administration. Now, I became quite good friends with this, particularly the woman that I worked with this couple. They were just a beautiful couple, amazing business that they ran. But again, this time around, rather than the physical symptoms happening for me first, the mental symptoms happening. So my thoughts started to, to be negative. I started to just really become, anxious thoughts as I was driving to work. Then the physical symptoms started. Then I would cry, stomach issues. What happened this time in particular was I was diagnosed with something called frozen shoulder. Okay, now I had a pre-existing condition in my shoulder, and I was diagnosed with this, and I didn't notice it at the time until, hindsight's 20/20, isn't it? But afterwards, I noticed that the more stressed I got, the more anxious I got in this role, because it wasn't something that I was designed to do, the pain in my shoulders was exacerbated, right? So I kind of pushed through because I really wanted to be there for this couple. I didn't want to let them down, and I pushed through it. But I found that as my anxiety symptoms got worse, the pain in my shoulders would get worse. As the pain in my shoulder got worse, the anxiety symptoms would. So it was it was a back and forth, okay. And it was just incredible. I actually had to go, and I didn't like this. I had to go to this beautiful woman and say, look, I'm sorry, I can't work for you anymore. And I did explain why. It was nothing to do with them. It was me, that I wasn't in the right position. It wasn't the right position for me. Anyway, what I want to explain by telling you this story is that there is 100% for me a correlation between the mental and the physical and even the spiritual, right? And you'll notice, if you haven't noticed before, I'm quite often, you probably can't see on Instagram, but I have this pillow under my shoulder, under my arm. This is why, because I still suffer from frozen shoulder. So what I did was that after coming out of that second workplace, was I really started to, when I recognized the parity between the both, I started to go on a journey of really wanting to work on my mental health. Okay, so there were some things that had happened in my life that I knew that I still had to deal with, that I still hadn't dealt with on a mental and maybe a spiritual level as well. So I sought help. I did a lot of EFT tapping, and I got some coaching, some personal coaching for some stuff that had happened in my life. It was coaching and counseling. What I found was that when I was getting this assistance, the pain in my shoulders was exacerbating. And both the wonderful ladies that I was working with were saying to me, they were saying, yeah, well, that makes total sense. What was it one of them said? I can't remember which one. She said, you've been holding on to a lot of anger. And I can't remember which shoulder. I think she said, you'll hold anger in your left shoulder, right? And when we worked on that anger, the pain dissipated from my shoulder. It didn't go completely, but it did dissipate away. So this was when it really became apparent to me that, oh my goodness, our bodies and our minds and our spirits really, really do work as a whole. It was fascinating to come to that realization personally for me. And even now, I will notice when I'm not necessarily looking after my mental health as much as I should, or I'm not looking after myself spiritually as I should, doing my daily spiritual practices that I choose to do, I will notice often the pain in my shoulders will get worse. Or, I don't know, if you follow me on my personal page, on my Facebook page, you will know that I had a really ugly crying incident last week because something very much triggered me. Now, when I got triggered, my mental health was affected, and so was the pain, so was my physical health as well. So it really does all work together. It is, the way we are created as humans is absolutely fascinating. So what I want to do now, though, is, so that's my story. That's how I've come about it, and I've been talking to a lot of people in my life lately, and saying the same thing to them. They've been going through a lot of stressful times in their lives. And when I've pointed out the correlation between, what's happening in their physical health to what's happening in their mental health and their spiritual health, they've gone, oh my goodness, it's so true. It's so true. So what I want to talk about today is I want to give you some practical things you can do. I love to come on here and give you practical advice that you can take away and you can implement into your everyday life in how you can help with the correlation and to nourish your body, mind, and spirit as a whole. Okay. So the first thing I would talk about is, and I've spoken about this many a time on this show, and I will continue to do so, practicing gratitude. I notice when I don't put this practice, into practice, I notice when I don't do it. And it affects me throughout my day. I slept in today because it's a public holiday here in Adelaide, and I slept in because no one had set their alarms. But I made a conscious effort this morning to still lie in bed before I got out of bed, before my feet hit the ground, to practice that gratitude, both of what had happened yesterday, the wonderful stuff that, you know, I'd experienced yesterday, and the wonderful things that that are about to happen today. You know, practicing gratitude is just an incredibly powerful, simple tool that just works and helps us in so many different aspects. It helps us set us up with our mood for the day. It really is something, I believe, which is quite spiritual and very much, you know, very much physical as well. For me, I find it helps with my physicality as well. The next one is breathe. Now, you might go, well, we have to breathe, Ellie, you know, we have to breathe to stay alive. Yes, we do. But when I say breathe, I mean consciously sit, take a moment and breathe in. You know, take a slow, soft, deep breath in, breathing in all the positivity and all the amazing possibilities that we have in life. You know, hold it for a few seconds and then breathe out. Breathe out, you know, push out all the negativity that you might have. If you've got, you know, push out all that stress, breathe out all that stress that you might be experiencing. You will find that when people, you know, when you do guided meditations, most of them at the start will do a bit of breathing with you. And that is because it's an immediate result. It helps you relax. It helps your body, mind, and spirit to relax. So, but you don't have to do it just in a meditation. You can do this any day. You know, this is something free that you have available to you at any time of the day. So if you're feeling a bit stressed, just take that time to stop, take a couple of breaths in, and take a couple of slow breaths out, just to release that tension. The next one, this is something that I love to do, and I particularly started really putting this into practice last year when we were in, you know, when we were in isolation, or we could, there were certain places, you know, that we couldn't go, was spending time in nature. And you know, often I think we don't put the importance on spending time in nature as maybe we should. Okay, so something that I used to do when we were in lockdown last year was I used to go and sit outside or stand outside, take my shoes and socks off and go and stand outside on the grass, so I could just feel the nature. You know, it was almost like, you know, there was the this is the spiritual side of it. It was I could feel Mother Nature, you know, and just that power coming up through my feet. And I would stand there or sit there with my eyes closed and just listen to the nature, listen to the birds around me, feel the sun on my shoulders, you know, feel the wind. It was just, and again, this is free, you know, it's something so powerful, and just admiring God's and Mother Nature's creation out there. You know, again, a lot of you, if you've been following for a while, you will know that something that I love to do is go to the beach. This is this is heaven to me. You know, honestly, the beach is heaven on earth to me. Now, when I go to the beach, this is me very much connecting in nature, very much connecting in nature. And it feeds my soul. It feeds my spirit. Now, you might not necessarily be a beach person, you know, if you live in Adelaide, you know, we've got the beach, we've got the hills, you know, they're not far away from each other. Whatever, you know, you love, go and spend time in that nature. Just briefly, a couple of years ago, my goodness, Craig and I, we went to 𝘠𝘱𝘪 in Australia. Oh, if you have ever been, if you have never been to 𝘠𝘠𝘪, seriously go. It was the most spiritual place. I never thought, and I never gave it the importance that it deserves. If you've never been to 𝘠𝘠𝘪 and you want to experience a spiritual, natural landmark, 𝘠𝘠𝘪 is the place to go. Anyway, I'm getting off topic, but seriously, go to 𝘠𝘠𝘪 if you can, when we can travel properly. So the next one, oh, this is beautiful. So be with animals. You know, are you an animal lover? Animals, oh my goodness, they just provide this unconditional love to us. You know, our pets, our beautiful pets, they provide this unconditional love to us, and they know, they learn to grow and love us as their owners, as their family members. And they just know when we need that little bit of extra love and attention. You know, Craig and I, when just before we moved in together, we got a beautiful little pussycat called Shadow, and she became our baby girl. We literally called her our baby girl. And this is her here. I just have to show a photo. This is our baby girl, Shadow. But you know, when I came from the workplace and I was really in that space of anxiety, it fascinated me. You know, when I was just having a really bad day, she would just be there. She would just come up for a cuddle. She would just know. It was almost inexplicable. She would just know. You know, if I was having a bad day, I would get that extra cuddle. Even to the point, and I laugh at this, even to the point where before she passed away last year, I would be sitting at my desk and I would have been here for quite a while. She would come in. It was almost like she was reminding me, come on, Mum, it's time to take a break. She would give me this look. It was like, come on, time to take a break, time for a cuddle. It was very funny and very cute. But animals, they can really just help you. You know, they just know. They feel when their owners need that bit of de-stress. We need that little bit of extra love. And I think Craig, my partner, will totally agree with me in the sense that Shadow, for us, did exactly that. She was she was just an incredible little being. And you know, she did pass away last year, but I know this lady, beautiful Annie Burke, who was incredible, and she speaks to animals in spirit. Now that might be a bit woo-woo and a bit out there for some of you, but you know, Annie has been amazing with me, and she has been sending me little messages from Shadow, you know, and kind of tutoring me on how to stay in touch with her as a spiritual being now that she is. And you know, there's been times when I just know that my beautiful Shadow, even in the spirit world, is still around me and still, you know, still giving me that unconditional love from the spirit world that our beautiful animals do. Again, that might be a bit out there for some of you, but personally, I truly believe it because it's happened. The next one is sing and dance. Oh my God, yes, sing and dance. And, you know, yes, we can sing and dance. Yes, it's great exercise. This is perfect for, you know, the physicality of it. Dancing, great exercise, you know, by all means do it. But you know what? Do it for the joy of it. Sing and dance for the joy of singing and dancing. And this doesn't mean you have to be the best singer. This doesn't mean you have to be the best dancer. You can ask both my kids. They will tell you I am not the best dancer, but I don't care. I will do it anyway. I am that person who when you get to the traffic lights, I've got the window down and I'm singing at the top of my lungs. I'm that person. And it's just because it's something I love to do. You know, they say dance like no one is watching. And that's what I do. I had this moment. I did a Facebook Live on it probably about this time last year when I was down at the beach. I was enjoying nature, and it was, you know, I had the headphones in and I was just listening to music, and all of a sudden I just felt my whole body shift. I started to sing out loud. The beach was busy, mind you. It was like a warm day. I started to sing out loud. I started to and then my body started to move with it, you know, and then I really got into it. And I must have looked like really, I'm not going to say look like a fool because that's not what I felt like. But let's just say I was standing out in the crowd, right? I was standing out in the crowd, that's for sure. But I felt my whole body shift as I was singing and dancing, and it was like, oh my goodness, my joy is back. Were people looking at me? Absolutely. But they weren't, I didn't feel their judgment. I felt that they were almost celebrating with me because they could see this joy in me. So singing and dancing is a wonderfully powerful again, free tool that we have to us. I do this often when I'm in the house alone. I do it really often. It's something that when I was suffering my PTSD, anxiety, and depression, that I lost a little bit. But you know, the music for me, I'm a very musical being. This was something that came back to me first. You know, I started to put the music on, then I started to sing with it, then I started to dance with it, as I said. And on that beach, that moment was when I just truly felt that joy back. It was come back. It was absolutely powerful. So sing and dance, have fun for it, just for the joy of it. And the next one kind of goes into that. Enjoy a good belly laugh. Oh my goodness, this is so, you know, everyone deserves and needs to have laughter in their life. Everybody, we all deserve and need it. I went out, if you live in Adelaide, you will know about the Fringe. Last night, my friend and I, we went out and we saw a couple of shows, and one of them was a comedy show. It was hilarious. We were cacking ourselves laughing. And afterwards, both of us said to each other, we said we really needed, we said we just needed that good belly laugh. And you could, you know, I don't know about her, but I could feel that as I was laughing, that this tension was getting released from my body. I just felt so alive, was the way I would explain it. So alive in my spirit. It was amazing. So you don't have to go and see live shows, you know. You can go and you can watch, you know, watch a comedy, watch a movie. So another friend of mine the other day, we were talking about getting together and watching The Castle, because that's a bloody funny movie. If you're Australian, you'll get it. Watching The Castle, that's a movie that we can watch and relate to. And then I don't know one person who doesn't actually laugh at that movie. But you know, just get yourself in a space where you can just have a good belly laugh. It is so freeing to your spirit and your body and your mind. The last one is being creative. Doing something creative. You know, what have you wanted to always do? Is there something that you've wanted to always try? Is it, you know, is it knitting? Is it scrapbooking? Is it baking? You know, for me, I've come on this show often recently and said that the latest thing for me doing something creative is painting. And you know, because I want to show off my latest creation. Normally I'll paint on a Sunday. I didn't do it yesterday, but this is my latest creation that I did a couple of weeks ago. I thought I'd just try the sunset. You know, is it perfect? No, but I don't think you can see that there on Instagram. But I had fun doing it. It was just me being creative and just releasing. And what I find actually is when I do this and other craft things that I've done, I used to do the little diamante, what do you call them? Diamante cross stitch, I think you'd call it, when you know, take the diamantes and stick them on. I used to do that when I was in this place of PTSD. And what I find with that and with the painting and with anything creative for me is that you focus on what you're doing, and it puts you into quite a meditative state. And if you're suffering from, you know, if there's anything happening around you, it takes away your negative thoughts and you're solely focusing on what you're doing. It puts you into a meditative state. And it's amazing when you do that, how your thoughts will change. You know, you'll stop concentrating on the negative and your thoughts will kind of just drift, but you'll get these messages come to yourself, you know, and I don't really have time to go into it here today. I might do another one on this specifically, another show on this specifically. But being creative is a great way to express yourself. It is a great way to get into that meditative state to help you with your, you know, with your maybe negative thoughts that you might be happening. And it's just fun. It's just having a bit of fun. So I hope you can take away today some of those poignant tips on how to nourish your body, mind, and spirit as a whole, right? And if you are in Adelaide, or I think it's Canberra, I think Canberra's the other state where you're having a public holiday today, or anywhere else in Australia, you know, take these things. Most of them are free. You know, go out and practice them today. Get yourself out in nature, do some singing, enjoy a belly laugh. If you're in Adelaide, go to the Fringe, you know, but put them into practice immediately, because you will find that it all correlates for your overall health together. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, so one great way to nourish ourselves is to come and connect with like-minded people. So again, I would love to invite you to get some free tickets to our online Women Rising Above meetup that's happening on Wednesday night, the 7th of March, and it starts at 7 p.m. Adelaide time. The beautiful 𝘕𝘰𝘥𝘺 is our guest speaker, and she's going to talk about the emotional connection with our clothing. So we'd love to have you there. We'd love to give away some free tickets. Let us know in the comments, if you would like to attend. We'll be sure to get a free ticket to you. That would be amazing to have you there. We will welcome you with open arms, just as we do with every single beautiful, amazing women in Women Rising Above. So my lovely ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. Again, have a lovely International Women's Day, and we will see you again next week. All right, bye-bye.